really wonderful, and we lived in the same hall, alumni hall for sophomore and junior year. So Betsy and I were very opposite folks.
Sophomore and senior.
Sophomore and senior. Thank you. Correct. And we were opposites, but we became best friends, and really got to see her throughout my entire life. I probably would call her every week or so, or she would call me. And one of the adventures that I had once I had gone to Washington, I joined the Army after Misericordia, and did a dietetic internship at Walter Reed. Well, I decided to come up and visit Bettsi, and I came to Amityville, and at 55 Terry Avenue, I pulled into the driveway. And I thought, isn't it strange that her father's car has been backed into the driveway, but there's space for my car, so I pulled in. I think all three of them came out of the house at the same time. I thought, well, this is nice. They're going to carry my luggage, whatever. No! I didn't know anybody in a volunteer fire company, but I certainly learned very quickly that weekends you do not park in the driveway and block the backed car of the chief. And we saw all the scanners for every county in Long Island because you might get called and all of that. In fact, there was a fire, unfortunately, that weekend. And no one was hurt, but it was at a nursing center, so it was a big deal. And we all went with her, Bettsi and her mom, and we had coffee in the auxiliary to help the firemen. So I learned a lot about volunteer fire companies. And I come from Delaware, so most of our firemen are volunteers in the entire state. And so we do appreciate the effort of I loved her father. We got along very well. We also both liked black olives. If you didn't know that was his passion, it's mine also. And so we did well together. So I enjoyed meeting her parents and seeing them. And one of the other things that we did was Bettsi and I had a practical experience as part of our foods and nutrition. So we went to the VA hospital in Wilkes-Barre. And the VA hospital is 500 beds. We walked into this massive kitchen, and we are in our Misericordia provided uniforms, white uniforms, starched, ironed, white shoes, ready to roll. And we are doing food production. And this gentleman tells us that one of the assignments, we broke up into groups of 2, was that we had to crack 88 dozen eggs to get ready for breakfast the next day. We looked at each other like, what? I think that's impossible to do. And he says, oh, no, it's not. You take 2 eggs in each hand, crack them on the side of the bowl, put them in, And we did. And it was really an experience. Now, I went on to do a summer practicum with the VA, and then I went into the Army. So easy for me. Bettsi kind of went, oh, no, this is not my route. And she did a practicum at the Amityville Hospital, but that was a good experience for all of us. And lastly, one of the friends who isn't able to be here today that Bettsi has is Larry Arqueo. And Bettsi met him and was a lifelong friend. He was an attorney for the state of New York in the Medicare and Medicaid fraud office. And he and my husband Jack, who's an attorney, we would visit quite frequently and swap stories about all the clients and what we did. And he was just great. And he would take us, he was our official gracious tour guide for New York City whenever we went. And we even had brunch at the Windows of the World in the World Trade Center. So it was very nice. I will certainly miss my weekly or every other week calls with Bettsi. She was a good friend. And this is my daughter, Bess.